Looks like a crispy critter up here. You need to lift him up. I heard this morning several prayer requests of people that are recovering from surgery. We need to hold them up. You need to be held up at times. And there's times that you need to be the one that's holding someone up. When we hold them up, things go better. When you know that someone's praying for you, things go better. But God is good to us. And so things went well as long as Aaron and Hur was holding up the hands of Moses. Verse 14. And the Lord said unto Moses, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put on the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Verse 15. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it Jehovah Nissi. Jehovah Nissi. That means the banner of the Lord. The banner of the Lord. If we would go back and we would find that when God began to take and all the 12 sons, that they were given a tribe and they were assembled as tribes or peoples, whichever way you want to refer to that, and they was given a banner that they could be identified with. And when they moved from tabernacle to tabernacle, took the tabernacle with them, they moved as a family. What does Joshua say? As for me and my family, we will serve the Lord. Those were people of God. They had an identifying mark. They was covered by the banner of God. And when people saw them, they knew who they belonged to. They knew that they was part of the family of God because the banner of God was over the tribe of Israel. They were born as Jews. You and I have been adopted as Jews. But you know, an adopted child has all the same rights and privileges as one that's born into that family. And today, because we are adopted in that, I am an heir and a joint heir with Jesus Christ. That means anything that he gives to the Jews, I get also. Oh, by the way, there's no Jewish heaven and there's no Gentile heaven. Heaven is heaven. Now, if you don't want to go there, shame on you. But you understand, when they put this banner up, and we saw that each one of these 12 men, they stood at the front of their family and they carried, it was literally a banner or a flag. And they held it high when they were marching. I'm going to tell you something today, folks. When we march out of here today, we ought to be holding the bloodstained banner of Christ high. Where you live in Irwin, Tennessee, or you live in St. Petersburg, Florida, or you live in Plant City, or wherever you may live, when you leave there, and if you go to Walmart, you know why the Walmart is such a spiritual place? Because it calls itself the saving place. That's a Jeremy joke. But you understand, when we go there, when you walk through that door, you may not be holding up a banner that says, I am a Christian, but I will tell you something. When you walk through that door, the way you present yourself will tell on you. The way you speak to that person running the cash register when they made a mistake will say unto you. When someone bumps you from behind with that shopping cart and gives you a dirty look because you're in their way, you know, instead of turning around and just lay it into them, give them a smile. That's the banner that you and I need to wear today. It doesn't have to be physically a banner, but it is a spiritual banner. The Lord is over us, and we are identified with that banner as being a child of the King of heaven. I'm thankful today for my upbringing. I'm thankful for the name that I was born under, and I am just now getting to the point where I am not known as Orville's boy. You know, they know who I am. Now, they look at Jeremy and say, oh, I know who you were. You're Lee's boy. Isn't that the way it goes? But I'm glad that the Father knows who I am. I'm glad that I'm one of His. And when we go those places, we have a reputation, if you will, to carry. One that is not to embarrass my father. When I was growing up, I would never have done anything to embarrass my mom and dad. I was taught better than that. Since I have been a Christian now for the past good number of years, there is nothing that I would ever do to want to embarrass God or the church. How important it is for us to carry that banner and keep that standard and put our spiritual mother and our father above all things else, not to embarrass them. That flag, if you will. I feel the same way today, almost the same way as when I see that stars and stripes. I will tell you, I am proud to be an American. Amen. I am proud of what that flag stands for. Amen. And people say, oh, you're a flag waver. Absolutely. Absolutely. I live in a country that I am proud of. I'm not proud of everything we do, but I'm proud of what this country stood for. Tell you kind of a personal story here. And May the 11th, 1969, I hadn't been in Vietnam for very long, maybe 2 or 3 months. And about 2 o'clock one morning, the siren goes off. There's incoming rounds and bombs, and everything is going off. You're uncertain of what's going to happen. We go, and this went on for 3 days. You don't sleep for 3 days. You don't eat for 3 days. Things are going on and things are going crazy. And at the end of 3 days, I walked back to my bed, and I walked by the company commander's office. And you know what was still flying? You know what still stood out to me? That red, white, and blue, those stars and stripes. And after we had been through a horrible ordeal, and after all those things happened, I was kind of picked up a little bit when I saw that flag out there waving in the breeze. That told me that God is still in control. I came home. I thank God for the experience I had. I thank God for the things He taught me. And I thank God today that I'm still an American. But most importantly, I thank God today that I am a blood-bought, blood-washed child of God. Amen. Child of God. Amen. And I will tell you, what He has done for you and me, He will do the same for everyone in St. Petersburg.